This is Scrappy T Lee. What a cute name he has. And this is a 16 hand, 4-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Frisian Fire. And I've not had a Frisian Fire actually in quite a long time, so it's nice to have one. And he is out of a two punch mare. And I will fully admit that when I first saw this horse, I thought he was cute, but I didn't really think that he was super nice. And then today we went to do his first post-track ride, and he was just absolutely lovely. I so had underestimated him, and he impressed me so much. So I was just really happy with him. This horse just ran about 2 weeks ago, and so he needs to put on some weight. Obviously, if you look at his conformation pictures, that's very obvious. So we will work on that. I always find that putting weight on horses in the summer, especially when it's like full humidity bug season, is like the hardest time of year to put weight on them. But of course, we will do the very best we can to get this guy to gain some weight pretty quickly here. He has, I believe, 10 career starts. He has 4 starts this year in 2025, and he hasn't hit the board. So it absolutely made sense why it was time for him to move into the next chapter of his life. And this horse is just makes such a cute shape. I just had no idea. I had lunged him the day before, and on the lunge line, he looked like a calm horse. He looked very sound, and so I felt very comfortable and good about getting on him today, but he did not show me that he was going to make such an adorable shape on the lunge line. So I was really thrilled when I got on him and picked up the reins, and then he was just like, "Oh yeah, I want to be this round and this uphill." So that was a very lovely surprise. He has a magnificent canter. I liked him when we were trotting. I was like, oh, okay, this horse is nicer than I realized. And then I asked him to canter. That transition he just did was the first canter transition I asked him for, and it was just perfect. And then he steps into this lovely uphill, balanced, rhythmic, just absolutely lovely canter. And I was riding around now telling Billy that, okay, I don't just like this horse, I actually think I love this horse. So I really had a nice morning riding just two absolutely lovely young horses for the first time. Now, I will say, obviously, he needs to go more forward, right? He needs to take a bigger step. He needs to learn to bring the connection sort of down and lower at the base of the neck. All those things will come. This is just his first post-track ride. We did this in about 20 minutes because it's just unbelievably hot and humid in Maryland. And now I was on my second horse. I'd done the chestnut before him, and I was just dying and drowning in sweat. And it just didn't feel right to be, chasing him around, asking him to go so much more forward and all these things. I thought he was giving me plenty. And so we will just wait for a cooler day to ask him for more. But I'm sure that there is more in there. And I just am thrilled with this is a great starting place for him. So to the right, a little more hard, a little more challenging to the right. The left is definitely his more natural direction. I just had a harder time getting the shoulder straight to the right. So like you'll see right here, he's leaning on the right shoulder. And then here he switches to lean on the left shoulder. And it's nothing egregious. It's not like he's not misbehaving in any way. It's just that he needs to learn to move off the leg, stay straight on my train tracks between the legs, all those things. And he will, and he made a lot of progress in today's ride. Here he's giving me some really nice steps down the long side. Anyway, I tried to use this leaning on the right shoulder to my advantage a little bit because to the right, it was harder to get this turn here to stay straight through his shoulders around this turn by the gate. So I was trying to use that right shoulder lean to get some counter bend to bring us around that corner, but it didn't really work. All that ended up happening was he leaned on the right shoulder and then he switched to lean on the left shoulder. And so I just realized that that was cheating and it wasn't working. So then I just decided that, okay, he needs to just learn that he needs to stay straight between the legs. And then it did get a bit better. Actually, these are some nice steps here. So at some point, when I asked him to canter, he was definitely getting tired. I was getting tired, and I wanted to make sure I could manage that left shoulder when we were cantering to the right, because of course that's when it's going to be hardest. So I asked Billy to hand me the dressage stick, and that's just to have an extra aid to reinforce my outside aids as we're going around the corners and help to keep him straight. So we took a little walk break. to obviously catch his breath and to work on finding that straightness through the left shoulder. So that's what we're working on here as we're doing this circle. And then I love to just, when they're being good and they seem like they're mentally ready for it, I like to just start walking them over poles. I don't really think it's ever too soon to start doing that. And so we incorporated the pole as well as working on the straightness. And he was very good about that. So, this makes sense because the right, he has a little harder time with the bend and the straightness. I couldn't get, and to be fair, I didn't ask a lot of times because it's just too hot to be going on and on asking for a canter transition or a canter lead. So we used the poles. I thought maybe he'd step into the right canter over the poles. He didn't actually. He just wanted to trot, which is totally fine. I pressed him to canter after the poles. He picked up the left lead, and I thought, okay, well, let's just see if I can get the change over the poles. And so I actually think that this is pretty impressive. I mean, this is his first post track ride. He's been off the track for 2 weeks, and he has such a balanced canter that he's already ready to just start cantering over poles on the short side. Like, that's pretty good if you ask me. So obviously the first time he cantered nicely over them, but didn't switch the lead. And so here I was thinking, this is the last time I'm asking. If he doesn't get it, it doesn't matter. And there you go. He did a little footwork and stepped into the right lead. So that was really good. I was really happy about that because it's just too hot to be messing around for too long with this stuff. And so the right canter is just equally lovely to the left. I mean, he is just, I just think he's such a nice, sporty, athletic horse with a fantastic brain, very quiet, but makes a great shape, great package for eventing or jumping in general. I just think he's really nice. I'm really pleased with him. A couple of nice steps here. Really good boy. And so, sort of like the chestnut, his feet are not nearly as bad as the chestnuts, but he absolutely needs to be done. So, I'm very much looking forward to the farrier coming next week. And then I thought that this was plenty. I thought he absolutely blew it out of the water. He was phenomenal. Such a talented young horse.